Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Sidecar Spin. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I have teamed up with Crash and we are going to chat about our experience racing the 2025 24-hour trial. So a bit of a different perspective from expert to beginner, and yeah, we're just going to break it down and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So thanks for tuning in. All right, welcome Crash to another episode of the Sidecar Spin.
Yes, it's the Tash and Crash show again, isn't it?
Yes, we're going to talk about the most recent 24. That's probably two weeks ago?
2 weeks ago today.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. We would have been finishing up about this time.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So in slightly different conditions.
Yeah.
Here we are living in a nice wet day and weekend, as opposed to the 24 where it was just a dust storm by the end of it.
The weather was pretty good though, at least we didn't have any rain and it wasn't...
Oh, it's very
we
pleasant
weren't drenched.
weather. It was pleasant weather up until Sunday morning when the wind kicked in and the dust blew up.
Yeah, that was pretty hectic.
Yeah, the night was great. So, time for a debrief on it and see what you thought, I guess, is your first time as a passenger and second time in the event versus Captain Snooze here that's done it a few, maybe too many times. I don't know. The body, that's what
Never
the body's
too many.
That's what the body's telling me.
So this year was the 101 year.
That's right, exactly. So we had our big anniversary last year, the 100th anniversary. It started in 1924. Hasn't been run a complete 100 times because the war caused some cancellations. COVID, obviously, the glorified head cold. So I think it's up to about 91 actual runnings of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was our 101st year since the beginning of the event, yeah.
So are they going to do another sort of big event when it comes to, because you're on the committee, yeah?
Yeah.
When it comes to the actual 100th run event, or are they
we're planning the 200th already.
Oh, yeah.
No, look, we haven't, I guess we're probably still just on the wind down from the 100th.
Yeah.
That was a big effort to organise, as being here, as you said, part of the committee. So it was a very big effort, the 100th. There was a lot of additional stuff in there, a huge field, and it was put everyone under the pump to make it happen. So we're just happy to have a normal year again. There was 100
extra bikes, wasn't there?
Yeah, correct. That's right. And that filled overnight almost.
Because what was it, 270?
260 bikes, 270 by numbers, because there was a couple of 5-minute gaps in there between classes, just to create buffer zones. So 260 bikes. So a lot. And out of that, it was 48 sidecars. So it was initially over 50, I think it was 51 or maybe 52, but a few random pullouts for various reasons. So it was a great turnout.
Yeah, is that the most sidecars ever in a...
No,
24?
they did. Now, I'm doing this by memory. I'm not the historian buff. My cousin's got that covered. But I think the best was 50. I think we had to get to 51 to make it the best.
Yeah.
And we were initially there, but because a few pulled out for various reasons, injuries and the likes, then 48 was the end total from memory. So we were just under it. So I can't remember when that 50 was. I think it might have been early 90s or late 80s, something like that. But there was a lot back in that sort of era.
Yeah. So we did pretty good this year then, having the 30 something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Exactly. It was 36 or 38 or something like that. Yeah. No, still very impressive. So, and a good quality field still.
Yeah.
So, a lot of clubbies coming up, which is really good. A lot of fresh faces out there. People that have mixed it up. The likes of Todd Blackwell that's stepped onto riding. And a few other new ones like that. Bit of shuffling around. So, it's good. Good to see.
Yeah. And you get the ones like Barry Buckley that just keep coming back every year.
That's right. Absolutely. That is just phenomenal.
Because what is he, 74 this year, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And to still get around and keep within the time frames. is a phenomenal effort.
Yeah.
It's sensational.
Well, I think last year, I can't remember who was doing the commentating, but when he pulled up after the finish line, they were like, "What are you doing here, Barry? You should be riding a gopher, not a sidecar."
Now, I found another interesting point on that. So, for those that know Barry Buckley, he's got the famous Central District's beanie, the blue, white and red beanie that he's worn forever and a day. Now, I thought he must have had an absolute bottomless box of beanies because no one's ever remembered him wearing anything different. But it's been informed to us that is still the original one.
Oh, wow. He's looked after it then.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
That's
how old would that be?
Very.
It's good quality.
Yeah, don't make them like that anymore. Both parts of that equation.
Wow.
Great to see. But awesome to have been able to compete with him over the years.
Yeah, no, what a legend. It's so good to see him out there all the time.
Absolutely. And then with Sean in the mix now as well, Sean and Adam.
Yeah.
But Sean's certainly shining up the pace nowadays.
Yeah.
He's certainly, his time will come. It's just a matter of time. He had a few dramas this year, but we'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah, he's absolutely hooking. I can't believe how fast all of you guys actually go around there. Like, I imagined it when I'm going around, like when we were going over the whoops and stuff, I'm thinking, because we were going, we weren't going fast. We were going pretty slow. So we were riding over every whoop like, and then I'm thinking, I wonder how the experts go over these. I bet you they're just like skipping over them like nothing.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to say we were, but it didn't feel like it. So it might have looked a bit more that way on videos, but it certainly didn't feel like it hanging onto the bars. So, So I guess for you, this was first time as a passenger.
Yeah.
You did it on solo last year?
Yeah, I did it on the solo. I didn't really like it. I crashed heaps of times and then timed out. And I just got really frustrated because I was breaking things on my bike. Yeah. And then I was just, I don't know, everything just went wrong for me. Like nothing sort of went right. But this year, my dream was to do it as a sidecar passenger. Like when watching the 24 before, I was like, I'd love to be able to do that. But I always thought, oh, geez, that looks bloody hard. And like sometimes you see them coming back and you'll see passengers laying down in the chair like as they're like coming back down the road in the final lap. And you think, oh my God, that looks brutal. Like they've been absolutely flogged. But I always wanted to do it. Yeah. And I was a bit because I haven't been passengering for like heaps long, I was like a bit worried about who to like try to like get on with. Like I didn't know if I'd be able to handle getting on with someone that was super fast because I hadn't done it before.
Try and find an entry level.
And like Caroline was like, oh, arm in arm, and then she was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I thought, well, if I can't get on with her, then I'm not going to worry about it. But then Jason Whitfield, his passenger hurt his knee at Robbie, and so I said to him, look, I'll swap out my solo entry because I had entered again on solo, even though I had a crappy time last time. I was like, I'm not letting it beat me. I'm doing it. So I was like, I'll swap my solo entry out for sidecar if you want a passenger. And then he was like, yep, all right, I'll get back to you. And then, he got back to me, I think like the next day or something, said, yeah, you're on. So I was like, sweet, let's go. But I hadn't swung in a sidecar all year, so I was like, oh shit. But I thought, I'll be right.
So that's actually my old bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first factory frame I had with had a KX500 in it at the time, but that was the first factory frame I had post home built sidecar era. So I bought that in '99 to do motocross on. So that bike's been around a while. It's seen a lot of teams grow up on it. It's changed to a 4-stroke nowadays. With the Honda motor. Yeah,
I think it was an
NX 650. Yeah. That's right. Yes, so Mark Lowner put that into that. He bought it off me as a roller. So that bike's been to Finken back a couple times. It's seen the thing. So, I guess the 24, for those people out there that don't know about the 24, it's our, prestigious event for the year in the series. It's a event that runs from 11 o'clock on a Saturday to the 11 o'clock on the Sunday. 4 laps of a track, approximately 200 kilometres around. It was a little bit less this year. 200 kilometres, 12 special tests per lap. And those tests could be anywhere from sort of 4 kilometres through to 17 kilometres long. And it's based around what would, for those overseas guests, would be, and interstaters or whoever, that it's based around pretty much comparable to a traditional time card enduro, where you've got a time schedule to stick by, and you get penalised for obviously falling behind. A bit different in this is that you can make up your due time again, unlike an enduro. Once you've lost your time, you've got to stay on your corrected delayed time. Here you can actually get yourself back onto your allocated time schedule. So you can drop back, pick up, sort of as much as you want, as long as you don't go outside of 60 minutes late. So
comes in handy too.
yeah, that's right. So that's probably the easiest way to express it. There's meal breaks at the end of lap 1 and lap 3, and just a short rest break after lap 2. But yeah, circulate that same track 4 times with 3 fuel dumps around each lap. So you're going approximately 60 to 70 kilometres per fuel dump. And there's no outside assistance. This is a key part, which is different from enduros. You're not allowed outside assistance. You must carry everything other than fuel, oil and air that can only be taken on at fuel dumps. Everything else, from clothing to equipment to tools, parts, must be carried from the word go. So, and that's the reliability component to the name.
Yeah, even your jackets.
So even your clothing, which can be quite tricky at times.
Yeah, especially like with that warmer weather we just had.
Correct.
It was like, if you want a jacket, you got to wear it. But then I was sweating. But I didn't want to ditch my jacket in case the weather turned sour, and then it's like, then you're freezing. Yeah, so you got to find that sort of happy medium where you're warm but you're not sweating.
Yeah, so the challenge is, we've always said the easiest is when it's actually quite wintry weather, because your daytime temperatures might only be 12 or 13 degrees, but your nighttime temperatures come up generally in that sort of weather. If it's overcast and gloomy and stuff during the day, it brings your nighttime temperatures up and you get a closer temperature differential. Whereas if you've got a day similar to this year, or last year was probably, last year? A couple of years ago, 23, it got like frosty at night, but the daytime was 16 degrees. So it's like a 15 degree temperature differential, whereas this year it would have probably been struggling to be 5 degrees difference between day to night. So that temperature differential is hard to dress to for the daytime to then accommodate the night and vice versa. So yeah, there's all those challenges in amongst the riding part of it as well. Yeah,
we just had we wore our jackets, but we zip tied our spray jackets and stuff just on the bike. Yeah,
that's right, exactly. So I'll go sleeveless normally start with, and then try and hold out on putting the sleeves on as long as possible into the night. And then the key from there is really to break the wind. If you've got a bit of warm layers underneath, the key for me has been just to break the wind and stop the wind getting to your body.
Yeah, especially on the transports.
Correct, that's right. So what were your expectations as a passenger?
I didn't really have any. I just wanted to finish.
Yeah.
I just wanted to finish. I had it in my head. I knew that I could finish it. I'm too stubborn not to. Even though I didn't do any preparation at all. I was like, no swinging. And I'd had vertigo 3 weeks leading up to it. So I hadn't even done any type of training or anything. And I was just like, oh, well, I'll just thrash the crap out of myself and I'll worry about it the next week. But we got through though. We plugged along and we got the finish. So I was stoked about that. But I hadn't even looked at the results until today. Didn't even look at where we were. I thought, I better actually have a look where we ended up, because I hadn't even looked, because I just didn't even care. I just was all for the finish. So just to get it done. But what about you guys?
Well, we went in, so we came off the back of a annoying DNF last year, not quite halfway around the last lap. We had to nurse it with broken spokes last year in the back wheel. That started to happen very early, which was rather annoying because it was a brand new wheel, brand new spokes, and the nuts were actually breaking. The mushroom head off the nuts were breaking, which was really annoying. So we limped our way through. We vowed and declared years ago that we would not. We had to do this in the very first event we rode in 1996. Very similar situation. And we vowed and declared from that day on that we would never ride just to finish again because it was so boring.
Yeah.
And here we are going forward 25 years later having to do it again, just on the back that it was the 100th.
Yeah.
And we really would have liked to have finished that. We let it out, so being lead bike because we'd won it in 23, it seeds you the first bike in the field.
Yeah.
So Sidecar's going first and Solo's the same thing. If you're the winner from last year, you get seeded the first solo in that class. So we fought hard in 23 to beat Hutchies by 11 seconds in the very last section to then lead out in 24. It was very frustrating. So this year we went back to our original theory of we just ride. I didn't even want to look for problems. I went out of my way not to look for problems on the bike. I just thought if it's going to break, let it break. I just want to ride it as hard as I can for as long as I can and ignore the problems. And so we stuck with that theory in a general case, but for a technique like an actual, I guess, plan of attack, we didn't really have anything. That we went into with no expectation on ourselves. We just thought, let's just go out there, flog it, and see what happens. And we're pretty happy with the outcome.
Do you get like PTSD sort of thing of like what's happened before? Like, oh shit, like I hope that doesn't happen again.
Oh, look, yeah, I'd lie if I said I didn't. We certainly do.
Yeah.
Because we've experienced so many DNFs for different reasons, for blown gearboxes, for collapsed wheels, for head gaskets, for, I'm trying to think of some of them now. A stuck throttle one year. We just could not get, there was a screw came out behind the turntable on the throttle on our 525. I was riding with Jed Rolack and you just couldn't get to the screw. I could get in there slightly and you could turn in, but you could never tighten it. It was like a 3mm Allen key tucked in behind the throttle turntable.
Something you'd never expect is going to happen.
Yeah. And it was even a bugger to deal with on the bench afterwards. I don't know for what purpose it came loose. Don't know. There's no reason for it. And that would jamming up our throttle and we just couldn't. Like it got to the point where it was just plain dangerous because you didn't know when it was going to happen. So we DNF'd that year. So there's lots of random ones like that I've had over the years. So yeah, nothing does surprise me when it comes to what can happen. And so yeah, it does play in your mind a bit and go, this year, for instance, start of the second lap, we went into the first section, it's just on dark, flicked to high beam, round the first corner, the lights start flickering.
Oh no.
Just dropping in and out. And I went,
that dread kicks in then, doesn't it?
And we'd had this was a carryover problem from Gawler 6 Hour, but I thought I'd fixed it through what looked to be a very suspicious relay. In this case, I'd swapped the switch block, I'd put a new relay in it, I'd checked all the wiring and secured all the wiring better and everything. And as it turned out, it was one of the terminals on the bottom of the relay. When I'd push the relay back in the holder, it would push the female terminal back and it wasn't contacting properly. So it was a very simple fix in the end, but yeah, it certainly does bring in a bit of panic, especially when you've sort of heard rumours that you had a pretty nice little lead at the end of the first lap. So you go, don't bring me problems now.
It must be pretty devastating to, like, I've only had a couple of DNFs, like, ever. Like, only,
yeah, right.
Just through, like, motocross and stuff. But it must be pretty devastating to put all that effort and time into, it's such a big event that everyone is like looks forward to all year. Like as soon as the event's finished, everyone's already talking about the next one. So to have that, all that lead up to it and then have something stupid just happen and you're out, it would be pretty gut wrenching, really.
Well, it can be, certainly. Certainly is. 22 was a frustrating one with the electrical problems where a couple wires chafed. And each wire on its own wasn't a problem, as when the two rubbed at the same time. That it would cut the bike out. Very frustrating when we were battling for the lead at that point in time with Brian and Shane Beckman, having a great fight the whole way through the night, and to have that happen, half, 3/4 hours before the finish of the event, the 23rd hour basically. We're in the third to last section.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
That one was annoying, but the rest, to be quite honest, look, a lot of the time it's self-inflicted. So, like I said, we just hammer that bike as hard as we can for as long as we can. We've got a much different approach than a lot of people because it's a localised event, because we've won it. very early in our career, we sort of went, well, what now?
Yeah.
So we moved on to motocross for a while, then came back to it just with the mindset of let's just go all out and what happens, happens. So we don't get probably too tangled up with it. It does play with you a bit, but not to the degree of probably a lot of other people. It's a localised event for us, so we've sort of grown to know what it involves. But yeah, for some people, especially if you've travelled a fair way and stuff like that.
And people from overseas,
yeah,
that
overseas,
would suck.
that's right, exactly. So stuff like that would certainly be, and it's an event that can bring so many possibilities.
Yeah.
Brad with their radiator halfway around the last lap this year. So there was a very good chance that there for a while they were certainly pinching their butt cheeks together for a little while trying to sort out their radiator. So little things can happen. Well, it's not over till the end.
Even Sam and Henry, like, I don't know how many times we passed them along the track, but they seemed to fix whatever happened, and they'd be back in, they'd be like, zoom, past us again, and then we'd see them again somewhere else, and we're like, oh shit, what's happened to them? And then next minute they'd be back past us again.
Well, if Henry did his maintenance in the shed rather than on the track, he'd be fine. Right?
But yeah, it's amazing. I honestly didn't think that they'd finish, but they did.
Yeah,
because I thought they're having lots of problems.
Sometimes the challenge of the event is just getting that bike to the end.
Yeah.
So, and that was for us the very first year.
Yeah. So you guys finished in second overall and second in expert this year?
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
So we battled with the Brads through the night, the two Brads. So they rode very well. Youthfulness was always going to overtake the ageing and decrepit pairing of Crash and Stiff eventually. And this year, they didn't put a foot wrong. They rode brilliantly. We crossed our fingers when we saw their radiator leaking.
Yep.
This is an opportunity. Here come those little mystery problems. But no, they rode brilliantly. Sean Buckley sort of took a hard hit early in the piece, but he would have been definitely a threat to us to possibly knock us off that second place. I would have all my faith in him to be able to do that. Him and Wally, they're a very good couple, but they hit a rock and smashed their back wheel up, or put a big ding in their back wheel. For anyone that's seen the pictures online, you could see the moose tube well and truly through under the rim.
And they did that early, didn't they?
Yeah.
How they got around for that whole time like that is crazy, especially at the speeds that they were doing.
That'll teach them for trying to beat our times in Brownloader Wells. So that's always been a bit of a challenge there to get through that one without as fast as you can without breaking or bending wheels up. There's one particular section called the Moon Rock, which is just a big sandstone reef, and that has claimed a lot of wheels over the probably 40 years that it's been in the event.
Is that one down in the creek that's just all that?
Yeah.
And it's got the big holes in it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So that one, you've got to treat it with respect.
We went pretty slow over that. Like, look out for the
I
holes!
I think theirs was leading up to it. There's a few random rocks hidden away there, and I think theirs was leading up to it.
Yeah.
And because we're going upstream this year, all the rocks get pushed over, and they act like sort of barbs, so to speak. So going upstream, you're always riding against the rock, whereas if we're going the other way downstream, they're like little ramps, and you can just jump off them. It's not a problem, but it's always a harder one. I've always said going upstream, you knock it down a gear and take it steady. Going downstream, you knock it up a gear and just hold it flat. That's the theory I've always trained people. So it's a completely different approach which direction you're going in the creek.
So you guys didn't have much gap between doing the Welsh 2-day and then coming back for the 24?
A bit more this year than previous years. So the Welsh 2-day was a week earlier, which it is again next year. That gave us a bit more time this year. It's not like 23 when myself and Brian rode the Welsh 2-day, and then I flew in on the Tuesday night and then rode the 24 on the Saturday. That was a culture shock to the body, at least until midnight when the body came alive. It kind of worked in a bit of a favour there, but that was harsh. That hurt a bit trying to get the head around that and get into sync. So that was a culture shock. This year, not too bad. Not too bad. And everything was prepared before.
Okay, so you had a pretty good lead up then.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah. What about yourself? So you obviously being first time on Sidecar, did you get much prep?
Not really. We only so Jason, I think it was only like 2-3 weeks, I think, notice I had.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was only like 3 weeks notice. So him and Kev, like his dad, did heaps of work to the bike. Like
they love it.
Well,
if they don't love it, they make it look as though they love it
they
really
did
well.
a lot of work.
Else.
So without that, I don't, we wouldn't have got to the finish without all that work. So Kev put in a lot of effort.
They're both very passionate about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I didn't really do anything. I just did the superstar move where you just rock up and jump on and ride and go home sort of thing.
And how did you find things like, so something that we've noticed up sort of in the faster rankings, I guess, over the last few years is things like the nutrition part of it, food and water and stuff like that. Did you find you sort of had to keep up a bit of a regime there? Or?
Well, I tried to, because I've come from a athletic background anyway. I know about fueling your body and stuff like that. So I tried to drink a fair bit of water and make sure I fueled my body beforehand, ate some good food, and I took I put a lot of electrolytes and stuff like that in my tub. I took salt tablets.
Right.
What else did I do? I grabbed some gels, but I grabbed some new gels. And I remember Brian telling me, be careful which gels you take because you might get the shits. So I was a bit worried about that, but I was all right because I was like, and I'm like, do I want it? So I left. I didn't take any.
Funny, he never told me that part, so we just grabbed whatever.
I didn't take any gels until probably near the end of the second lap. Because I'll just in case, because I didn't want to get the bloody squirts. Not ideal when you're on the sidecar.
It wouldn't be.
But
we'd have to ask Rocky that.
I bet you all those guys know all about it.
So that's certainly something that I've noticed over the last few years is certainly keeping up that food intake, just eating, even if you don't feel like it, just nibbling away, even half a muesli bar or something like that as you go, just to try and keep the body fed. And I even still, this year, we start a lot of water drinking already. We keep texting each other 2 days before the event already. Thursday, we'll be sending messages, drink water all through the day, just to keep reminding each other. And I even do that on randomly on my little school page that I've got up, like the coaching group that I'd done. Even put it up on there from time to time. But getting that water up and then having, I guess substantial or reasonable amounts of food to keep up. And I then even was struggling with the cramps this year really early in the piece, which had me worried, to be quite honest, because I was getting them halfway around lap 1 already. And I thought, oh no, what else can I do here to try and stop that? But luckily by probably a quarter of the way, first fuel dump on lap 2, that sort of went away and I didn't really have any problems with cramp the rest of the event. So.
Yeah, see, I was lucky. I didn't get anything like that. I was surprised, considering I did no preparation for it. I thought, I'm going to die. But no, my body felt real good the whole way until probably the last lap. My legs were starting to get a bit dead. But as long as we kept going, I was okay. It was when we stopped, I was like, and my hands, by the end of probably the first lap, my hands started to get really swollen. But they didn't hurt, they were just swollen. And I think it was just for the lack of probably swing on a sidecar. And I think because I was trying so hard not to hold on tight, my hands were quite loose on the grab rail and they were just banging. So it was like blunt force trauma. So my palms, my hands were really swollen, and I was actually holding on by the tips of my fingers because I couldn't make a fist. Yeah. But it didn't hurt.
I sometimes do that down the road, right? Yeah. Just to try and let the palms of your hands
get some blood back to them.
Yeah, that's right, and relax a little bit again. So that's not unusual to do. It can. Start to, especially on some of those longer, because it's a fast event this year. Yeah. It was sort of designed around the dry conditions. And so we opened the track up a lot more and made it a lot more flowing, which naturally makes it faster. But then in the process of that, it takes a fair bit of hanging on to. Higher engine vibrations and all that sort of stuff all come into play.
But I think that nutrition side, I think that definitely helps with all of that. And I think that's probably why I didn't suffer as bad as what I
I've seen a lot of people over the years with the 24 where they won't eat enough, or it seems to be that they don't eat enough during the lap, and then get to the meal break and they go, oh, smell all this great food. Force feed them or stuff their guts with a lot of food, and then end up getting crook and sick the next lap or two. And I've seen a lot of that. Whereas I don't eat a huge amount at the meal times, but I'll just keep trickle feeding muesli bars and the likes in during the lap, and then have just a I guess a mid-sized meal at the meal breaks. This year for breakfast is probably the lightest I've ever had. I just had a bowl of cereal and I think some juice from memory or water, and that was all I had for that. But then just kept up the nibbling, probably half an hour down the track, and I was nibbling again on a muesli bar. So I just didn't want to.
The breakfast made me feel a bit crook. Like the start of the. Like, I felt good the whole time, but the start of the last lap, I was feeling a bit like, after breakfast. But I don't know if that's just from being up all night or a bit of a mixture of the both.
Just the shocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no doctor, but maybe an orthopaedic surgeon by experience, but that's about it. But I think it probably just shocks the body having work so hard and then dump a massive amount of food in at once. I just can't help but think that's got to be a hell of a shock for your digestive system. So
you're getting thrown around too. Like when you're on the, the track's rough as guts by that time of the morning.
You're not going to sit and watch telly in front of the telly afterwards, are you? Or have an afternoon cat. So that's right. So bike-wise, did you have any dramas with the bike?
Nah. Not at all. Only in the last lap we did smash our foot peg off.
Okay.
But not like motor-wise, everything was really good. Like,
so you that runs a rigid foot peg, does it still?
Yeah, one of
like
those big steel, one of the big steel ones.
Yep. So like a Nerf bar.
Yeah. We on the fourth lap, I think it was the second to last section, we came down a creek and like the foot peg just like smashed on a rock that was sticking out of the thing, and we actually came to a dead stop, and I did like a full Superman, like my legs came up like Scorpion over the back of my head. I was like, holy crap, what the hell? Jason's like, oh shit, the foot peg. And I'm like, I just about I did like full Superman off the back of the bike because I didn't expect it at all. And you're just like we were just cruising along just trying to make it to the end. The last couple sections, then just bang. It was like far out, but it was pretty scary though in the fact that it was that close to smashing into the motor, like into the case. We're like, oh shit, like we can't hit anything else with that. If anything touches that, we're stuffed. So we were very ginger to the end after that. Yeah. But apart from that was all right.
Whereas I found now running a folding foot peg, I avoid a lot of that, even though it's a whole narrower system. Yeah. I actually avoid a lot of those rocks now. I don't have them so much of a problem like I used to.
Well, I suppose you'd have more clearance, wouldn't you?
Correct. Yeah. And the other one that I've found is that, when you drop into some of those creeks or those heavy ruts, especially this year with a lot of those big, deep dust ruts, that the foot peg doesn't hold you up like a set of trainer wheels on a kid's push bike. Having that narrowness allows you to actually sneak through.
Yeah, because it does get jammed.
Some of these mud theories that sort of the Welsh guys have introduced us to are actually starting to work in our favour in our dry conditions as well. So I've been very happy with that, and I won't be going back to a rigid peg for enduros. I'll stick to the folding foot peg.
So did you guys have any issues?
We bent our rear disc a few times. That's happened. Yeah, I think it's just my style. We did it already in the very first section. Was the worst of them. So doing like drifting, just drifting the corners even in the rocks, and just you clip a rock and tweak the back disc. We don't have a disc guard on that one, unfortunately. So that was probably our biggest issue, and then we just had that little headlight connection which we solved at the next control before it got too dark. We managed to get that solved before we really affected our riding. So that was really all we had, just lots of air filters under the conditions, being that it was so dry.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so very, very happy. I only just worked on the bike yesterday to get it all back in line again, and visually the oil come out nice, and no nasties hidden inside there that I can see. So everything seems to have come up really good. I was very surprised how well the front tyre held in. Back tyre was pretty ripped to pieces, but that's becoming quite an issue nowadays in the 24 with bigger horsepower. Now is tyre management is quite a key nowadays, because you can chew your tyre out real quick if you want to. Trying to preserve that a bit's become probably quite a key issue.
Is that on the rocks, or is that like even just going along like the
yeah,
road sections?
Yeah,
and
sort
stuff?
of the rocks. The rocks certainly punishes it a lot, like a lot of wheel spin and stuff through those creeks and in the rocks. 22 was really bad for it. There's a section called the North Hills, and there was a lot of off-cambered, embedded rock in that stuff, and it's quite sharp rock. And because you're drifting on the off-cambers to help sort of keep the bike aligned, that really tore the tyres to pieces that year. It's quite a challenge, but to not drift would make it really hard to ride. So it's trying to find a happy medium at times between achieving a fast and smooth ride versus still having grip at the end of the event to be able to keep up your pace. So yeah, that's becoming a bit of a challenge in itself in the 24. Probably my biggest concern in a consistent format, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
The biggest consistent problem is now tyre management.
So lap by lap, how'd you go on the first lap? What did you guys get up to?
Right, what did we do? So we went in pretty steady. Stiff was really good on the navigation this year, just calling the shots. Kept the voicing up, the verbals up a lot. There may have been some discrepancies, but we balanced that out. I missed one corner through what I believe is still a bad call by him, but he's apparently there's video evidence to say that it's not. But then ultimately, get this one, Stiff makes a call that was going to send us backwards down the track where the track came head on in the other direction. So that well and truly outweighed any indiscrepancies I had early in the piece. So we were happy to call it even Stevens, and we just got on with it. But overall, no, first lap we're pretty happy with how it went. Being up the front, we were bike number 2, so you got a fairly fresh track. But being that it's home terrain, you sort of know how to read that stuff pretty well. So for us, it was pretty good. We were watching sort of hutchies avoid certain places that we knew you could go straight through, some of the bushes and thistles and stuff like that they didn't exactly know how to read it. We knew that you could just cut straight through some of those bushes. They look big and nasty, but they're really nothing in them. So that helped us out a lot. But yeah, overall, we were really happy with the first lap. It went probably smoother than expected, and by the time we got out on the flats, we were feeling really good. So, what about you? First lap?
Good. I really enjoyed the first few sections before the fuel dump.
Yes,
they were.
They were nice. Up in the hills there.
I loved that second section. It was trippy going through there. It was like you were driving through the friggin'
fairy dell.
Like some type of forest, enchanted forest or something. Exactly. I was like, whoa, this is cool. And that was pretty cool. But I did freak myself out because I had watched a video on YouTube or something like that, and a guy had got impaled by a bloody stick doing an enduro race. Yeah. And I had been showing everyone this video, and I was like, oh my God, that would be like, that freaks me out. I always think that's going to happen in the bloody road trials. And it was like a big stick, like had gone under his armpit, and like he was pretty busted up. And what do you know? We friggin' in about, I think it's like the second or third section, we come around the corner and this dead tree branch is sticking right out and hits me exactly where the dude's bloody stick was. And thank God I had my body armour on, because it went whack, and then it just like, it actually hurt through the body armour. That's how much it hit me. And it just snapped, and I was like, holy crap, like, no way did that just happen. After, I reckon I manifested it to happen, because
that's right.
I had been going on about it, and then that bloody happened, and
you
that
set your own little voodoo doll up.
Yes.
That's what happened through video. This is a digital voodoo doll that you just set up, and you got yourself. Yeah,
but then after that, I was freaking myself out, because I was like, I would keep thinking, I hope a kangaroo doesn't jump out. Oh, don't think that, don't think that, don't think that.
And there's so many of them.
Yeah, and I was like, no, don't think it, don't think it, don't think it. Because I was thinking, do not manifest anything else to bloody happen, because I could not believe that happened. That actually freaked me out. And I thought, so lucky that I had my body armour on, because it just hit the corner of it and just snapped. And I thought, shit.
Well, on the other hand here, Crash the nature lover caught a bird in that section in my armpit, ironically.
Oh, really?
A bird flew out between the trees, and it stumbled on the handlebars. It clipped the handlebars, and it got stuck in my armpit as I was riding. It was flapping around in my armpit for a couple of seconds.
Bloody hell. But apart from that was Yeah,
that's
no,
good.
that was all right. Like, it was good, but that first, when we got to that middle section, that really long bull dust section,
Yep, so
that sort of did put a
Pridmore's,
bit of
yep.
a, like, you know, we were like, when is this gonna end? And like, we got to the end and we were like, ugh, because like before that, I was like, woohoo, yeah, like
Yeah,
yahooing
yeah,
everyone, like
yeah.
waving to all the people, like,
Yeah.
you know.
And you had 17 kilometres.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh, we need a reset from that one. That one
Yeah,
was bloody
yeah,
hectic. So
yeah.
we set a goal to just like be consistent and just cruise around, and yeah, we did it and we made it pretty good. So the first lap was really good. I was stoked when we got back. Didn't even like felt good. Everything felt.
The weather
good.
was great.
Yeah,
dead calm almost.
Yeah,
that was probably a bit of a hassle with dust hanging around up the front. A couple of the quick guys, Shane Beckman particularly, went over the handlebars. Did a cartwheel
on the first lap.
Yeah, in that Pridmore section, that long one.
Yeah.
In the middle there was a caution on a V dip and quite a V out, and it was one that we famously called T-Bone's dip because he broke his foot on it the last time they rode. Him and Dave. And that used to be their own paddock. So,
they knew it was there.
He copped lots of shit over it, but. This year the caution sign, just with the way the sun was and the dust hanging around, a few of the guys behind us didn't pick up the caution sign.
Oh, no.
And so they came into it full noise, and Mark Launer hit it hard and somehow bounced his way through. He's not sure how. And Shane Beckman and Brooko, they cartwheeled it through it.
Oh shit!
So they went and readdressed that and put some extra signage and stuff up. We sort of got onto the control and they got that sorted pretty promptly, which was good because you're just looking into the sun with the dust haze. And just lost a bit of vision. So, but that was the only real action up the front other than everyone hurting their rear wheels.
Yeah.
That's karma coming back to get them after they were all teasing me last year with a broken rear wheel. This year, me and Karma had a chat, and look what happens to them. Yeah, so sucked in, boys.
So what about the second lap? Did you have anything on that one?
So the lights at the start.
Yeah.
So that sort of got me off onto a bit of a bad vibe instantly, but then we solved that pretty quickly. It was a fairly easy problem.
Because it started to get dark. Because after we had... So, we got back at, about 5-ish?
Yes,
for dinner?
That's right. Yeah.
And then,
so when we came out, when we went into the first section, we still had enough light. We could get through it on low beam.
Yeah.
And still see enough of the track outside of the headlights to still push okay. So we then sort of quickly got up the road to the start of the second competitive and quickly addressed a problem there, quickly found out it was just a loose connection. So that was simple to deal with. And we got that going again. It never caused us any problems for the rest of the event. So second lap, I probably struggle a bit more in the dark nowadays with the glasses and I guess age against me. So darkness isn't as good as what we used to have, but still great fun, like from there on.
Do you wear your glasses under your goggles?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I can't. I reckon it does something weird with the depth perception and that, and I can't read the fine details of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas when I wear contacts, even though it's annoying to wear contacts because they can get dusty, I see heaps better.
Yeah, and I tried
because
contacts.
As soon as they move a little bit like that, it makes stuff go weird.
Well, see, the beautiful part is I've rigged up a special design where I've got some kids' glasses that sneak in under the goggles quite nicely.
Yeah.
And they fit into the frame of the goggle quite nicely. I've just had to notch the foam a little bit where the hinges are in the glasses.
Oh, okay.
And it holds them beautifully.
Oh, okay, yep.
Right, and then I've just had to put a special little bit of hose just on the bridge of the glasses just to hold them forward so they don't fog up so much. But I've got them to sit in the goggles so they're quite rigid.
Yeah.
And so I get around that, but right on dusk when the sun's just set and the lights aren't fully operational yet, I find that hard. And also if I get moisture during the night, it's bad enough during the day, but moisture during the night, it really screws with the magnification of the glasses. That I struggle with. So the eyes are certainly have been a bit of a bugger in the last few years with that regards, but I'm happy with what we've been able to still achieve and what we've worked out to sort of solve that solution the best we can. So, age gets the better of us eventually. Other than that, we bent the rear disc again for the fourth time. We actually did it 3 times on the first lap. We bent the rear disc and then once on the second lap. So just every time you just pull up at the next control, grab the shifters out, straighten it back up again until the caliper's sort of holding position and not wobbling around, and away you go again.
Yeah.
So that's been a bit of a well-oiled machine. We've done that a few times over the last couple of years. So, but yeah, second lap otherwise, yeah, enjoyed it. Really got into the groove. It was just beautiful, balmy weather. So plenty of moonlight this year as well, which makes it a lot easier as well.
The moon looked really cool, actually. I remember we were riding along and Jason's like, oh, have a look at the moon. I was like, yeah, like that looks sick.
That's right.
Looks so cool.
And as the late, great Aussie would say, bark at the moon. You could have been out there like a werewolf that night. It was nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool riding around out in that. Like, it's something that you can't really... like describe, like you've got to be out there doing it, and it just seems surreal a bit.
How do you like going up the big creeks in the dark?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I like riding in the dark.
Yeah.
So like the second lap for us, like even Jason said he likes the dark, he prefers the dark, and I prefer the dark. I feel like when you're riding in the dark, you're just zoned on where you're going, and you're not looking around at all the crap around you, and it makes, for me, it's less scary.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. You'd think it would be...
a lot of people say the same.
I like it, and I feel like we go faster.
You just focus on that blob of light.
Yeah.
And anything outside of that.
And like you're riding past these massive big wombat holes that you see in the day and you're like, holy crap, don't drive in that. But when you're in the dark, you just ride straight over them. You don't even know.
That's right. Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, so...
But a lot of people have said over the years, the big creeks like Wells to Brownlow and Delta to Frankie this year, just riding those big, deep, dry creek beds with a sort of 16-foot deep of...
It's creepy.
Of wall on the side. And,
it looks cool though.
It's
and you have the echo.
Yeah, the echo, the resonation of the sound. It used to be great on the KX.
Yeah.
On the 500 screaming down those creeks.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It used to be awesome fun. So.
But we ended up, so we were pretty good for the first part. I can't remember which section it was. There's a section, it was in a creek, and I reckon it was just before the second fuel dump. Yep. And there was a big, like a sapling bush thing in the middle. Yep. And then there was you could go left, but there was a huge hole on the side. And then there was a bunch of rocks on the other side. And the first lap, we'd gone left and we'd stayed up on the ledge, and we'd got around this huge hole. And then on the second lap, we went to go the same way, but Bruce had fallen in the hole in front of us. So we went up, but then we sort of like hesitated a little bit. And because we'd hesitated, the bike just went right, lost the momentum and fell straight in the hole. And like this hole wasn't little. It was like, up to your chest height. Yeah. It was massive. Like it was a bit sketchy that we even had to ride around there actually. We were just like, what the hell? But yeah, we ended up stuck in there for ages because we were like, Bruce ended up getting his bike free and he went. And then we ended up stuck on a huge, because there was like all big rocks and stuff in there as well. So we ended up beached on a big rock. And the back wheel was just spinning, and then we're trying to lift the sidecar up, and we had it leaning like fully on its side, and then we're trying to lift the back wheel up, and it was absolute shit show. But we were there for ages, and then we ended up getting out. But while we were there, a few solos were like going around the other side, and we were like, well, we're definitely going to try and go that way next time because we ain't going this way again. This is shit. Yeah. But yeah, we ended up getting out of there, and then I think after that we were all right, but we lost a fair bit of time from doing that. Yeah. But I think we managed to catch back up again by the end of that lap. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the only sort of real mishap we had on that lap. Yeah. But yeah, that was shit getting stuck in there. It took us ages to get out, and like that bike is heavy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She's a tractor. Like trying to lift that out, it was just like, oh no. So that was hectic. But yeah. And then how did you find having that 20-minute break in at the end of the second lap? Did you find that a help or a hindrance? No, it was all right. Well, it was enough time just to quickly like go to the toilet, fill my camel back up. Yep. I had to tape my hands by then. I started getting blisters, so I pretty much put fight wraps on my hands. I was like taping. I was like, that's gonna roll up. So I was like doing the full fight. So tape did you wraps. Start with tape at all? No. Yeah, okay. No, I thought, I'll give it a go without the tape because Jason did give me these little these foam things that you put. Yeah. But they're like wetsuit material. Yeah. But I put them on and they just felt real weird, and I just didn't like the feeling. Like, you know when you wear something that's like you got tight socks on or tight something, and it makes you feel like I don't know, achy and weird. It was doing that to me, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to risk it. I'll take them off. So I ended up just doing, I think I did the first 2 laps without any tape.
It's a bit like wearing the gel bike shorts underneath the under the gear to help pad your butt.
Yeah.
It feels like you're wearing, I'm assuming
like a nappy.
It feels like you're wearing a nappy. You sit there and once you get out there, you're thankful that you got it on.
Yeah,
I know that
it was
much.
Weird.
But so you taped up halfway through then?
Yeah. Because it started to get, it wasn't like...
There's a debate on the tape. That's why I just asked you.
Yeah, like I went pretty good because I can usually do no tape at all the 6 hours and that, and I'm fine. Yeah. But it was more, because my hands had swollen up so far, I think they were rubbing a lot.
Yeah.
So I ended up just taping the whole lot, like even between all my fingers and everything, just to keep it all on properly.
Yeah.
But like I still got blisters through the tape.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day.
And that's where some of the debates come in over the years, because the tape, I know Stiff's brought this up over the years, that wearing tape, it sort of pinches up and creates little sort of sweat holes underneath it, and then you soften up all your skin, and they feel that it makes it worse than just letting it harden up through calluses and stuff like that. So there's age-old debate there as to tape or no tape. I don't think there's particularly any right or wrong answer. It's whatever works for you. Ultimately.
Well, I've toughed it out before and not put tape on and just let my hands just get ripped to absolute shit.
Yeah. Well,
and I had skin all hanging off and all sorts. Like at Robbie, my first ever road trial, I did the whole Robbie with no tape, and I'd never done a road trial before. I'd only swung on Sidecar maybe twice in motocross or something. Yeah. And my hands, like I had like a whole layer of skin missing, but I just did it, and it hurt like shit, but I just sucked it up and did it. But it was pretty like shredded afterwards.
Stiff just puts a little bit around the base knuckle of his thumb now, just where that sort of drags up and down the grab rail. But other than that, he just runs tapeless and gloves over top and happy days.
If it was a shorter one and I was getting blisters, I probably wouldn't care. But because I'd never finished one before, and you have that pressure that you don't want to, I don't want to let Jason down because I've got stupid. I've done something, and then people go, "Hey, you should have taped your hands." But it's like, so I just did it anyway, just to,
I've found with the riding, just keeping the gloves changed over. I carry a few pairs of gloves, and just keep rotating the gloves through, letting them dry out a bit, and dusting them off and stuff like that. That seems to help me a lot. Just changing gloves regularly.
And saying that, I think different gloves definitely make a difference, because I've got gloves that are a bit older and they've gone a bit crusty. Like the material's gone a bit crusty, and those ones I seem to always get blisters wearing.
Correct. That's right. Exactly.
But the ones that are a bit more softer, like the newer, they've got a bit more movement in them. They seem to not get as many.
But if you have gloves that are too loose, I found I get blisters.
Yeah, because they rub.
Snug fitting. Yeah, that's right. Or they crease up.
Yeah.
So I had a set of Fox gloves at one stage, and they were terrible for creasing up, and even on just weekend adventure rides, just getting sore hands from them. So they quickly got sacked.
Yeah.
So we've gone through a rest period, midnight.
I'm just thinking now. Did Adam Buckley? How many laps did he do? Did he do 2 or 3? No, I reckon he did 2. So I reckon it must have been that second lap where he got us out. We must have got bogged because he, on the one of the sections, I think after that one we fell in the hole, we got bogged in, I think it might have been the long section.
Yes,
near the end. We were coming up out of a creek and it was just super deep ruts. Like you couldn't, the whole bike was just dragging.
I've seen the video of it.
Oh, and Adam was like, he ended up caught up to us, and then he ended up having to like full hulk out and lift the bike out.
Wasn't there a couple spectators there as well?
Yeah. Because we were trying.
One of our committee were there.
We were trying to lift the bike out, and we could not even get it to move. And then Adam just comes up. And Adam's just like, move out the way, and he's like, just lifts the whole bike out, and we're just like, oh, thank God for that.
The human jib crane.
Well, like, thank God for that. Like, but then it was just after that he pulled out, and we were like, oh, damn, hope we don't get stuck again, because Adam won't be able to lift us out. But so that must have been in the second lap then as well.
Yeah. I've seen video footage of that. Yeah, she was fairly
so someone's actually filmed us. Oh, God.
Yeah, she was fairly well in.
Oh yeah, it was like bogged right down. Like the sidecar was like rubbing on the
So
in the centre of the rut.
For people that aren't familiar with Australian bull dust, as we call it, it's what you'd compare to fesh in something like the Dakar Rally that you see on telly. So it's just like a talcum powder in amongst the scrubbing the trees where the water doesn't get to, and it just can be just as bad, if not worse, than mud a lot of the time, because there's no bottom to it. And once you get anchored on it and beached, then you've got no traction. And it's just like standing in water, really.
It's like flowers, it's like puff.
Yeah, that's right. It's like flour. It's mud. It's just dehydrated.
Severely. So
we go into lap 3, the graveyard shift. How did you find the graveyard shift?
I was pumped. I was still pumped. Like, I thought by then I'd start feeling a bit crappy. I think we would have been, what time? It would have been around midnight, I reckon.
Yeah.
Would have it been when we all went out for that?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
And I thought I'd start, starting to feel crap, but I actually felt really good. We just, again, just cruised around. I don't think we had much happen to us. I think we might have got bogged a couple of times, but when we got, the rumours started, they're taking out that long section. So I think that just perked us up too. That was like, thank God, because, and it was just hectic. Like you're riding and then you go like a decent pace and then you just hit that bull dust and it goes, boom.
Yeah,
and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's so many ruts in it and you can't see them, and it's like you get railroaded into them. And once you're in them, you've just got to go with the flow.
And I was saying to Jason, we've got to stay out of those ruts. But I don't think we could have. I don't think he could have. I think, it just kept pulling us into it. And
it does.
You couldn't go anywhere else but in there.
We got some good lines at certain times where we got out to the right-hand side of it, and there was enough gap to keep the bike out of it on the fresher ground. But the chair wheel would all of a sudden just find a bit of a hole, and it just hook and just pull you straight back into it again. And there you were, just stuck in it. And you can't back off. You've got to keep the revs up and keep going, but at the same time, try not to choke your engine with dust. It's a real bugger to ride.
So when they said they were pulling that out, that sort of, we were like, yes. But I didn't realise, I don't know why, I was probably, just didn't click, that, because in the road, in the normal reliability trials, when they pulled a section out, we just drove past it and kept going, and then we got back to the main earlier. But I didn't realise that you actually had to stop and wait for the amount of time to still go on your thing. So I was like excited, thinking, we'll get back a bit earlier, and then it was like, no, you got to sit
wait
there.
Time.
So we got there and it was like, waiting around was just like,
that's where
this is really hard to sit around and wait like this. Like, I'd prefer to just be smashing it, just keep going.
Well, that's where I found the comfortable lounge chair in the back of the control and had my little cat nap.
So, I've seen the picture of Ayla laying on top of you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, got molested by Ayla. That's right. Yeah. So
they were mucking around in there. I came around and they were taking photos and stuff, and I was filming.
I was having a great old song. And I knew that I'd still have a minute, that when I heard Hutchie's bike fire up, that I'd still have a minute to quickly get the helmet on and get ready to go. So it worked out quite well.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little cat nap, because I was feeling, at that stage, I was actually starting to feel pretty fatigued. And so we got there. I quickly changed a set of rear brake pads because they were chopping out pretty quick because of the little bit of bent in the disc still. So, and having to pump them up all the time. So I was wearing through the back brakes fairly well because of that. And so I quickly put a new set of pads in and then just went straight to that couch and tucked away. And then, I don't know how long I was there for. And next thing, all of a sudden, I just feel it flop, someone straight on top of me. What the heck?
Those two, they were running around like they bloody hadn't even raced anything. They were like Energizer bunnies.
I came out of that and I thought, this is going to, because I hadn't really woken up properly when I hopped back on the bike. I thought, this is going to take ages to get back into it. By about the second corner, I went, mate, I feel like I've just started again. This is great.
Yeah.
I just felt so refreshed again. It was awesome. I enjoyed the third lap. Once I'd had that little bit of a rest, I felt really, really good for that lap. So,
I think it was just that waiting around just Yeah, that just sort of like drains you a bit. Because I was all right, and then that I was like, oh, now I'm starting to feel a bit shit. But as soon as we got going again, again, like you said, you just sort of, snap back into it, and then you're off, and it's good.
So then we get back for breakfast at the end of lap 3.
I reckon, lap 3 though, that's where we bloody tipped over and everyone was laughing at us. Oh,
actually, lap 3.
How'd you go coming out of that bloody boggy section? I think it was, I can't remember whose control it was, but it was the one where you come through the 2 things and you go up and then turn and then like that.
Yeah, so that was at the fuel dump.
Yeah.
That was at the fuel dump, the first fuel dump.
Yeah.
Fuel dump 2 technically, but end of section 5.
Did you guys follow the line, or did you just cut up the?
No, we sort of turned. Went through the finish because my back brake had faded out, so we shot into the bunting. We actually broke into the bunting to run off because I didn't have a back brake, and then we cut in and then sort of cross-rodded our way up the hill. Okay, so we got through it okay, but there's only half a dozen bikes behind us. We heard someone got stuck fairly well.
Probably us, because we came around, and then I think we just lost momentum, and the whole bike just tips up, and I just held it on all the way, and then I'm stuck on top of the bloody sidecar wheel with the bike flipped up. Everyone's cracking up laughing. Even I was laughing. I was just like, what the hell? Like, this is insane.
So that section on the 3rd lap, one that I forgot to mention, was after we had that big rest break at the Delta control. You went up the creek, and then you turned out of the creek and went up into that patch of scrub where you guys got stuck on lap 2. And there was one of our committee members, Sean Blenkind, who was having a year off from riding. We're coming up the creek, and what is that up ahead? We could see something moving, and at this stage it's dead calm. There's no wind. There shouldn't be any tree movement or anything like that. And as we get closer, there's Blanks with his shirt off, swinging around like some crazed soccer maniac, still in shorts. and it was just not a picture that you would expect to see in a Target catalogue or something like that, promoting clothes. I'll give you the hot tip. But it certainly hyped the night up, but it wasn't the biggest attraction to see. Well, no, sorry, it wasn't a bigger attraction. But anyway, it wasn't the prettiest attraction to see, let's say that.
I think all the crazies came out in lap 3.
They do.
Yeah, because that's what Jason said. He goes, you wait now, all the crazies come out. Because everyone's starting to get drunk.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got all the randoms that are like around the track. Like,
yes.
We saw blow-up dolls hanging in trees. There was one... like a mannequin down in the creek, and you're like, what is that? Yeah. And then you think, is that a person? Oh my God, it's a bloody mannequin dressed up.
Yeah.
And then you've got, what else was there? Did you see those people that were camped on that big bend as you're coming on the, just the dirt roads, like on one of the transports? There was a caravan, they had a fire and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they were like, woo, every time we came past. But like in lap 3, they had these gigantic teddy bears.
They did, that's right, yes.
Like a big giant Minnie Mouse and a bloody Sylvester or something like that. And there was heaps of random stuff. There was, did you see the guys? There was a guy dressed in like a KFC bloody outfit.
That was the end of section 2. And you had to open the box of KFC and he's poking the finger at you.
Well, we when we pulled up, I was like, because I thought, that's a mannequin, that's not a real person, because he was standing at the end and he was like pointing the direction. He had a bloody witch's hat on his head, and as we got closer, he pulled his witch's hat up and scared the living crap out of us. And we're like, that's a person, and they're all just cracking up laughing. Oh, it was hilarious. But that stuff, like that really does make it. And absolutely. I think at that time of the night when you're, that's when you need it. Like
there's stories of years ago. It was a year I wasn't riding, early 2000s I think it was, and I remember a few of the guys saying, but particularly T-Bone, saying that they're coming through a section, like one of the longer sections, on the graveyard shift, and up ahead, same thing, they saw something moving, and as they get close, there is a guy butt naked with a lawnmower just randomly pushing up the side of the track, butt naked. freezing cold, and there he is, just butt naked, pushing a lawnmower in the middle of nowhere. There's no cars around, there's no campfire, and
makes you question your sanity. Do you think, did I see that, or is that real or
but
what?
numerous people, because a few of them thought that numerous people saw it. So yeah, it's either there's a lot of insane people or it was genuine.
I think people just do it just to trip you out, I guess, when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And because I think the crazier it is and the most random it is, the more funnier it is. And you're just like, it just like lights you up.
Yeah, the first 2 laps you always get the moonies.
Yeah.
Pants down and you got bare bums flashing at you.
Oh, we had some drunk guy even running beside us trying to like race us at one thing. We're like, where the hell did he come from? And he's like, hey! Like, oh my God.
Yes, but, they certainly liven it up. That's
the
for sure.
gorilla.
Yes.
Seen the gorilla with a unicorn. Because I had a bloody toy unicorn thing.
Yeah.
What else did we see?
So yeah, but it does. It certainly livens it up.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I love it. If I wasn't riding in there, I've got a wicked plan of what I'd do if I was a spectator. Like, I'm even thinking, even if I'm riding next year, I might set something up. Like, I'm thinking like just find some random road along the track and just set up like random signs all the way down the road.
That's
and,
what
like,
Max used to do. Max Straits used to do.
Something cool like that, because like it really boosts you up when you're riding around.
So Max was a classic for that. Every year he'd have a theme and he'd be set up like on the side of the road somewhere. And
just something completely random.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last year was that Besser Block paddock had a giant dick in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. That's been around to a few events over the years, that one.
Yeah, I was looking out for it this year, but I didn't see it anywhere. But yeah, that was good. And even when you're like, you know, the sun's coming up and you're riding through some random ass paddock, and then this just spectator just pops up out of a bush with the camera and just films you going past, and you think, where the hell did they come from? Like, you're in the middle of nowhere. There's no roads anywhere. There's no houses. There's nothing. You can't see any cars or anything parked anywhere. And there's just this random person just pops out of the bushes and when you go past them, you think, what the hell? Like, oh, it's so random. But yeah, lap three is definitely.
Yeah.
I think that was my favourite lap.
Yeah.
Just because of all the stuff. Like, it was just funny as, and like it just pumps you up, and you just and you know, you yahooing everyone.
Yeah.
And then by the end, like. Oh, closer to the end of lap 3, it sort of dies down a little bit. Everyone's bugging. There's only a couple of people standing there.
Diehards, that's right. So then we're going to breakfast, into lap 3.
Yeah.
And that was quite a feast.
Oh, hats off to them.
Fruit platters and everything from wicked. Cereals to yogurts to your bacon and eggs and fried tomatoes and whatever else. That was sensational food.
I was impressed. And the ladies that were doing it were so lovely. I came in and I was trying to pick up a piece of toast, but my hands wouldn't work. And they're like, I was like, oh, and they're like, do you want toast? And I was like, yes, please. And then they're like, would you like us to butter it for you? I was like, yes, please.
I'll put it on my tongue at least.
Yeah. I was like, next step, you can feed me. But yeah, no, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. But did you find it hard to go back out then at the start of lap 4? After being in a nice warm room and a bit of food in the tummy?
I was just like, right, lap 4, that's our victory lap.
Yeah.
That's what I just looked at it as. That's your victory lap. And I just, but I did feel sick. I didn't eat too much. I just had some scrambled eggs on toast. But like once we got going, the start of lap 4 was probably the hardest part. Like it was
just before sunrise.
Yeah, and it was just like, you start feeling a bit
still
crap.
in the dark.
Yeah.
But you can see the glow starting to come up on the horizon.
Yeah, and I think it was more the body.
Yeah. And in a cold year, that's when, like, if we're going to have a frost, that's when the frost would kick in too. Yeah. So you pretty much come out of breakfast and go straight into an ice bin.
Yeah.
It just white cold with frost, and that just before daybreak is normally when the frost will kick in.
Yeah, I think the first few sections of lap 4 were probably the hardest out of the whole event.
Yeah.
And then once you
start to get that sun up,
and you know it's nearly the end, and then you're just like, fuck yeah, we've fucking made it. Ooh.
Once that sun comes up, it's like another whole. It's like the event starting fresh again. Especially I guess for us towards the front of sidecars, that first fuel dump on the last lap is basically sunbreak. When the sun physically comes over the horizon, leading up to that fuel dump is normally the hardest part, from breakfast through to then. And then once that sun comes up, it's like a whole new game. And if there's close racing, that is the time to go and watch, because if it's a close event, a bit like it was in 23 between us and Hutchies, or 22 with Brian and Shane Beckman, and then years prior to that, Mark and Hutchies have had some great battles. Come daybreak, that's when things get turned up. That's when the sprint to the line comes on, and you see some awesome racing come that time. People, you'd think, how can your body physically still do that?
Yeah.
But it's almost like you just zone out of it and just go.
Yeah, it's crazy what you're able to do, because I was thinking like, oh, by that stage I'm going to be, like, I won't be able to think, I'm going to be like, but I was still on it. Like, I felt good.
Yeah.
Like, I still felt like I could do stuff. Yeah, my legs were I hate you, but...
I would love to come in at the end of lap 3, just have a quick bite to eat for 10 minutes and go straight back out. So I find those first 3 or 4 sections really hard, because you've just sat in a nice warm room, you've relaxed, you've had some food to eat, and you've thought about how tired you are, or not so much how tired necessarily, but how much you're hurting, and then you go back out and go, I really couldn't be bothered doing this. I've had enough. But then, once you get that first fuel dump and that light's coming up, and it's just like a toggle switch, and away you go again. Yeah.
Do you often, like, do you get those sort of demons creeping in much?
Look, have had in the past. Haven't been too bad over the last few years. Definitely have. But I guess as a sidecar, that's where it's good. And with Stiff on board, he's an Energizer bunny on speed. So he just keeps you pumped up. And even going down the road, there might be times where I'm thinking about something. And like, for instance, leading up to that control with the headlights problem. And he knows when I'm in concentration mode, or when I'm thinking about something, or my mind's on something outside of riding. And he'll just all of a sudden just tap on the helmet and thumbs up in front of your goggles. And that in itself says nothing, but just those couple simple actions, and it's just, we're still on it, mate, and you give him thumbs up back, or if I do have to chat to him about something, we'll just at the next corner as we've got the engine revs down, I'll just say, just thinking about the problem with the headlights, or just thinking about the problem with the back brake, or something like that, and just to let him know where you're at. But he's been very good over the years for pepping us up and just keeping us alert again.
I tried to do that a fair bit, because one of my concerns,
it's very important as a
passenger was like, I know what it's like, even just on the solo, sort of zoning out, and I was thinking, like, I wonder, like, I don't know, Jason might have been zoning out, so I always was like, oh, left turn ahead, and like trying to yell stuff out, and like, I think I learned a lot doing it now that I'm riding and being a passenger. I was navigating a lot more, and like go high, and like picking lines and stuff for us, and like saying stuff to him,
difference.
And trying to always like talk, and like even through the sections when it, I was trying to make jokes and stuff, like, if we hit some big rocks, oh, who bloody put them there, and just like, we were having a laugh around the whole track and stuff, and just, yahooing everyone, and when we're going over the whoops and stuff, I'm like, woo, whoop-de-doos,
and like, line picking competitions to see
silly.
who can pick the best line as we go. Like, if Stiff calls a good line, yay, that's one to me, I like Tim type of thing, and then I pick a good line, how was that? There's a cracker.
Yeah, and it's good if you're bouncing off each other like that, and I think that sort of, and that, fake it till you make it sort of thing. So, even if you feel like shit, like, there was, that start of that 4th lap, I started feeling a bit like, ugh, but I was still like, this is wicked, let's go, and
how good are the controls though too when you pull up? And just go, come on, last lap, you can do it. Like, they pep you up a lot.
Yeah, they're awesome. I loved, the Levis control was really, really good, I thought, this year. They cheered every bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everyone that came through, and they were up on the hill too, like around there, and they had a sign. There were, I think it was Jock. I might have had a sign said "Hold it on."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and every time we went around there was a bunch, and like they'd cheer all the way up, and then they'd cheer all the way around. Yeah, it was something.
It probably was Jock then. Yeah, his road racing stuff.
But it was really good. Like the controls, like they're so, like they really pump you up and just give you that. Sometimes it's all you need. They don't need to be going crazy, but like sometimes all you need is that one person go, you know, you're doing really good, you know, keep going, like, you know, just that little bit of a thing, and you're like, oh, yeah,
someone else to put faith in your abilities. That's right.
So, yeah, that
and
was
then by probably halfway around the last lap, you start to find all the crowds are starting to liven back up again, and you get to that last fuel dump, and the crowds are back online, and you sort of follow in the rest of the lap from there, sort of a cheer.
Yeah, it's like your victory lap. That's what I was trying to, like, just looking at it, like, we've got all the way to lap 3, like lap 4. Yep, this is just the victory lap. Let's go. Let's make it back.
And that's what I say to people. Lap 3 is your killer. That is the one mentally that draws it out of you. I see a lot of people DNF late in lap 2 or lap 3 through the graveyard shift. If you can get through that, we just say to people, just battle through it. You know, like, switch off, even if it's even if you're not in the competition part of it, just get through that part, switch off to any of the crappy stuff happening around. Just try and ride it and get through it as neatly as possible, because come daybreak, it's just another whole game again.
Yeah.
And if you can get through to that daybreak, you're laughing.
And I think that's why all that stuff with the, the people doing silly stuff around the track's really important, because that really does help you get through.
I think a lot of people mistake the mental challenge with the physical challenge. I think a lot of the time, I wouldn't mind betting a lot of the time that people have pulled out because, I was just hurting too much or whatever. I believe it was actually more so the mind taking over.
Your mind always gives up before your body.
That's right, saying that you can't do this, and it starts looking for reasons to pull out.
Yeah.
Whereas, I guess I'm a stubborn German, and you just go, I'm not going to let you beat me. There's that competition side comes out, and you just go, every step's a step closer. You can shift a mountain with a spoon. You just got to dig for a bit longer.
Yeah, and you just got to keep telling yourself, just one
keep
more.
Chipping away.
I've only got to do that section one more time.
Break it down. Section by section, fuel dump by fuel dump, lap by lap. And it doesn't take that long. Come the end of it. If you start breaking it down bit by bit, it doesn't take that long. Like, even the first lap, you come across something and go, this is going to be crap. The rest of the event, I struggled there. Like, this is the worst part of the track. Like, it might be a bog hole. It might be a terrible rock reef.
But it changes too.
It does. But all you've got to think about is, I've only got to do it 3 more times.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like I'm going over it lap after lap like a motocross or something like that. You go, I've only got to do it 3 more times.
Yeah.
Like, just toughen up 3 more times and happy days.
Yeah, well, there was a section, I think, it was in one of the Rocky Creek sections, and I was like, oh, that's going to be fun at 3 o'clock in the morning. But the next couple of times we went around it wasn't even that bad.
No.
Like, it seemed really shitty on the first time we went around. But then, like, the next times we're like, oh, that wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, you get a bit of a line and
and
like
that. you might just change where your line slightly, and it changes the whole bloody bit.
Exactly.
So
and you're doing it in the dark.
Yeah, so you're not looking at all the crap around it.
That's right. So,
what did you think of the marking for, like?
Look, I found it good this year. Yeah. We were all pretty happy with the consistency of the marking. We were happy with that. Being a fairly open track probably at times makes that a bit easier. Yeah, especially because I found even like in the regular reliability trials, some of the tracks are a bit thin for the sidecars. Yeah. So I think this was pretty sidecar friendly. Yeah, correct. And we certainly made it that way, even from a solo point of view. Knowing that it was going to be dry, or chances are it was going to be dry, we try and keep that track a bit wider and spread the load a bit more rather than chop it out in narrow spots. So in that regards, we were all pretty happy with it. Committee-wise, got good feedback. So it's all been cleaned up already. Within a matter of days after the event, it's cleaned up. Yep. We've had a bobcat go over all the sections with Mark has a special little grater blade that attaches on the front. And he's gone over all the sections. So you reckon that second section took a long time on Sidecar? It took him 12 hours in there. Oh, wow. On a bobcat. Yeah, in the bloody enchanted forest. The trees, that's right. I was waiting for Snow White to come running out from behind a tree. The bloody dwarves or something. Imagine the dwarves like they're coming out like dopey and stuff like that. That's the sort of shit you're thinking when you're riding around in there. I think it was like the second or the third lap we were riding around in there, and Jason goes, "Are you all right? You're a bit quiet." But I was just like tripping out just riding through there because it was cool. It was cool. So you got to the end? And we did stack it in the 4th lap. I hurt my leg. So I think it was like before the first, or maybe one of the fuel dumps,
we went up again like what we did the lap before, but my actual leg got caught in the sidecar, like in the bar where your foot hooks, and my body fell outside, and my leg tried to actually bend the wrong way. Thank God for knee braces. I swear they saved me, because like if I didn't have them, I was waiting for it. It was slow motion. I was waiting for the snap, but I managed to get up, and my leg was pretty hurt. I reckon I like tore something in my calf or something, and then we were bogged, and then we ended up getting out, and then I was all right. Jason was I think he was a bit worried. He's like, can you put pressure on it? And I was like, it's all right, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. No, it was hurting, but I was like, there's no bloody way I'm letting this stop me. And like, we got to the fuel dump, and his dad's like, oh, you're right, like, you've only got, my mum was laughing, she goes, she would finish with her freaking legs hanging off. Like, there's no chance she will quit. She will not quit. She will go the whole way. She wouldn't even care if her leg was hanging off. So we ended up, we just got through those ones, and then that's when we broke our foot peg, and then we just gingerly finished to the end. But it was good.
So coming in at the end, how'd you find that, like with the crowd and stuff around? You said that a little bit earlier.
It was cool having all the crowd. So it was sort of surreal. Like, it was like, I thought that I'd feel more elated sort of thing, but I was just like, I felt really I felt like I could keep going. It was really odd. Like, you would think that you'd be like, oh my God, thank God that's over. But I felt like if we'd had more sections to go, I would have been able to do it. Like, it was.
Yeah,
if
by
you
that
don't
stage, you sort of trained yourself into it.
You're sort of just like zoned into it, and it was really odd, because at the start of the lap, you think, oh God, like, we still got all this to go. But then once you get to the end, you're like, I could do more. Yeah. It was really strange.
That's why we go straight to
What is wrong with you?
That's why we went straight to the Sunshine Bar afterwards and smashed heap of drinks.
But like coming in though, getting to be the person coming in under the, the finishers thing and seeing all the people there, it was pretty cool. And then, old mate's got the microphone and I was to say something, I was just like, that was brutal. That's all I was just laughing. Jason, I feel like Jason might have been, a bit emotional. He sounded a bit emotional in his voice, because I think he'd done 15 starts and that was his 5th finish. Yeah. So he'd tried a lot of times.
Oh, yeah. He's got the passion and the persistence there. He just keeps coming back.
Yeah. And he didn't waver the whole time. I was like, how you feeling? You're right? And he's like, yep, no, I'm good. And he was solid the whole time.
And every year he puts that same amount of effort in to make it to the end. Like, for some people, that'd be very disheartening.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that there was a few people that doubted that we would finish. I heard a few
But use
comments.
That as motivation as well.
Oh, yeah. I think, he probably had some other people that would have got on with him that were more experienced and had done it before or whatever. Yeah. But he chose me to hop on with him. Yeah. And I'm glad that I was able to... be the one that got him to the finish line. Yeah. So it was good. Yeah, it's sometimes that doubt of other people, well, a lot of the time for me, it's that doubt of other people that makes you more stubborn to actually prove them wrong. Yeah, well, I was like, you don't know me. Unless there's something seriously, like there was a few people like Caroline, she's like, well, they don't bloody know her then, because she's stubborn as, and like, there was a few people that were, said, like, I know 100% that you'll be able to do it. Yeah. But yeah, unless there was like a major mechanical failure or something like that, there was no way I wasn't doing it. Yeah. Like I had that in my head. So the whole time round, there was never a point where I had a negative thought about, not finishing. I was like, nah, I'm doing it. And like the whole time I was just keen, like even when my body felt a bit crap, at the start of the 4th lap, but I was like, whatever, I'm still doing it. Like it was good. And I surprised myself actually with like, without any prep, how good I got through it, like, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, it was good. I liked it, and I was like, yeah, I'd do it again.
So on the back of that, how did you pull up the day after?
Oh, the day of.
Or the day of, later that day even, yeah.
Well, I was all right. Got off the sidecar, felt a bit, stiff or whatever, and then, ended up jumping in the car. My husband didn't actually come to watch. He stayed home with the kids, and my mum came and she followed us around all night, and Jason's dad and his girlfriend. So my husband actually got brought up in the morning to watch me come across the finish line and to drive us home.
Yeah.
So, because I'd said to him, don't worry about coming, it's all right, you can just watch the live timing, like stay home with the kids, because it's stressful for me, you know, not thinking that he's dragging the kids around. It's just easier if they just stayed home.
Yeah.
And so he ended up there to watch me come over the finish line, and then he drove us home. So I jumped in the car and I was trying really hard not to go to sleep because I had my contact lenses in and my hands were gross. Like I had crusty tape all over them, and they were just looked so rank. So I didn't want to touch my eyes with my fingers and get my contacts out. So I was like fighting to go to sleep the whole way home. And then as soon as I got home, I washed my hands, I pulled my contacts out and I threw them away. I didn't even put them in the thing because I was that buggered. I ended up just throwing them away and then I fell on the bed. I didn't even have a shower or anything. I just fell on the bed, covered in dirt, covered in shit, and I just fell asleep. And I had the metal around my neck and everything. And then I woke up, it was like probably about, I think that would have been about 1 o'clock, I reckon, when we got back here. And then it was like 5 o'clock, I woke up and I was like, oh, come help me. And he's like, are you all right? I was like, I can't move. And I could not move. I tried to like hop up. He had to like lift me up in the bed. I was like, I need to have a shower. I'm like, gross. And he ended up having to hold me under my armpits and walk me into the shower, like holding me up because my legs literally couldn't even hold my weight. And then he like undressed me, had me in the shower, my hair, even though I had it in a braid, it was so matted. He ended up having to tip like all conditioner on my head, wash all my hair out while he's like holding me in the shower. I'm like holding the walls, trying not to fall down. Get me out, dry me off, put my pajamas on me and put me back into bed. And then I like went back to sleep. And then I woke up the next morning and I still couldn't really walk properly. I was like stumbling. I was like telling the kids like, can you get me a drink? Can you get, like the kids are like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like looking at me. But yeah, by the end of that day, I was sort of hobbling around, and then Jason said, oh, you're going to go to the prezos, and I didn't plan on it, but then we ended up just last minute. Mum's like, oh yeah, I'll go with you if you want to go. So ended up hobbling around there, but
to watch Crash sprain his ankle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my only injury for the 24 is spraining my ankle at the presentation night.
So yeah, we'll get to that. I just had a sore leg, but then the next day I was all right after that. Like I thought that I would take like a week to recover, but I just woke up normal the next day and like, you know, and was all right. Like my leg still hurts. Like I've actually injured myself from when I fell out the sidecar, but apart from that, I was all right. And then I was back on the sidecar on Saturday and Sunday swinging again. So I went and did a practice with Caroline on Saturday and then went and did like a coaching practice session with Brian, Lara and Eliza on the Sunday. So I was keen to go. Everyone's like, how could you even look at another sidecar? I was like, I bloody love it. Like 24 hours on the sidecar, that's like a dream come true for me because I would do it every day if I could. That's good. But you said you were pretty sore.
That's the sorest I've felt. Yeah, absolutely. As I've said, everything but my belly button was hurting. It took a while. The challenge was getting certainly the socks off. Lucky, I was home by myself because I ducked home a bit earlier because we don't live too far on the edge of town. And so I ducked home a bit earlier than the other lads, rode the bike home. And I thought I'll quickly get undressed because this is going to look very clumsy. So I quickly got undressed and in the shed and then legged it across to the house in my jocks, so that would have been a sight for sore eyes for anyone there if they were there. And just went straight to the shower. That was great. But it wasn't until, normally the next day we'd go out picking up markers straight away. So you just go out and walk a section and pick up markers. And just good. Doing that walking is brilliant. This year I had a presentation night to organise, and so I've gone down to that, and there was a bit of a wonky step to get up onto the small stage that we were using, and I stumbled on it twice in the afternoon setting up, and so had two other people. And so I went and chatted to the staff of the function centre and said, look, that step's not real ideal. Have you got a better one? They said, unfortunately not, because the shed where the stage was kept in got crushed by a tree during the week. Oh no. And the step that they would normally use got squashed in the process. So all they had was this makeshift step. So we positioned it in the best way we could to minimise it being a problem. And that's okay. Crash in his wisdom's gone, right, well, I'm going to avoid that step because that's going to cause me to go bum up during the night. And so instead I stepped straight off the stage about, what would that be, 18 inches, 2 foot high. And come down on my ankle, rolled
but
my ankle.
But it happened to be after you'd already been up there and everyone was watching.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah, just as we've given our second place speech. And
on
I
a
stepped
show.
off and just rolled my ankle and went down like a sack of potatoes. So and then had to put on a brave face because damn it hurt.
The whole crowd just cracked up because they're like, you're up there, and then next minute everyone just cracks up and they're like, Crash just stacked it off the stage.
Yeah, and my first reaction was to grab for the table to support myself.
What, with the
I went,
trophies?
No, yeah, it did. And I went, I'm going to end up grabbing that tablecloth and ripping all the trophies down. So I went, no. So that's why I ended up going down further on the ground. I used the parkour theory of just go with the flow. But yeah, that's been rather tender since. So that's my only injury really, other than aches and pains. So very happy with the way we held up, considering sort of the slog that it was during the night for the battle.
Yeah, that was funny as. So did you have any funny moments like through the actual race?
Oh look, aside from being jumped on by a female in my dreams that turned out to be real, other than that, no, not particularly. Like a few sort of silly moves in amongst myself and Stiff with some navigational errors, but other than that, no, it was all pretty straightforward in that regard. So.
Did you guys have like people following you around?
Oh yeah, so we had traditionally, not really specifically, but this year was great. We had the family get behind us. They fired up our old Tarago that we used to use for designing the 24-hour track. So we fired that up and got that going. So they had a whole crew in there of my daughters and wife, Fiona, and a few of their friends coming around for the night. And then Stiff had a couple of his kids and wife Catherine following around as well. For the
and do they follow you like the whole time?
They did this year, but traditionally not. So my kids, the Tarago ventured off a couple of times because they were following other people as well.
Yeah.
Catherine followed us around predominantly the whole time.
Yeah.
So she had a breather, I think, on lap 3 from memory.
Yeah.
That was quite a change actually, quite a pleasant change. Maybe it's just that I haven't noticed it as much in the past. I don't know, because I find once I've got the helmet on and racing, I sort of zone out a lot to what's happening at fuel dumps. Quite often people try and chat to you and I just go, look, I'm a classic for getting sidetracked. So I just zone out to what's going on in the background until at least I've got my jobs done.
Yeah.
Then I'll stop and talk. Right, but if I haven't got time to, well then, sorry, I can't talk now. I've got to concentrate on the job at hand.
Yeah.
So, I just figure if you're going there to do something, do it properly.
Yeah, and I find the people that are following you around, they actually get pretty excited too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're like super excited. Like, we had my mum followed. She did the first lap on her own and she was at every section pretty much. Everywhere I came, she was there. She does the amazing race. And then she jumped in with Kevy and Emily, Jason's girlfriend. And then, I think she was razzing him up like, Big Kev, he's a big personality. Yeah. My mum was staring him up the whole time. So they had their own bloody thing going on. And she was making him drive around to all the spots. But everywhere we went, I could hear him. Like, yay! Like, you knew they were there. Yeah. So it was pretty cool having them like follow us around for the whole entire night.
I guess we've probably found, being sort of competitive people in it over the years and being up the front a lot of the time that we've had the crowd naturally follow us around anyway.
Yeah.
It's sort of become, a bit routine that, people sort of somewhat follow you one way or another anyway. But like I said, unfortunately, once I got the helmet on, I zone out to a lot of what's going on around. And so I do overlook a lot of that sometimes. Sometimes I feel a bit bad about it, but at the same time, like I said, I'm there to do a job, so I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing.
And people will understand that.
Yeah.
And
I hope they do.
Like,
I'm not trying to be rude.
I think you guys as well, being at the front like that, like you said, you would have that you would get more of the crowd at the front, whereas we were like, because we were the last sidecar and we were quite slower. Actually, a few times we got overtaken by the solos. Yeah. So by the time we get there, everyone's moved on.
Yeah.
So, and we
Yeah,
found
fair
that
enough.
even with the photographers.
Yeah, okay.
The first bunch of people have a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Even the ones that DNF'd,
Yeah.
they still have a lot of photos, whereas we didn't get many photos because we were the last bike. And I think that's the same as sort of with the crowd as well. Like a lot of the crowd's moved on by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Especially if they're only watching the sidecars.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
they're staying
true.
for the solos, then
Yeah,
they'll
different.
see
Yeah,
us.
hang
But
around,
if
yeah.
they're only watching
But
the
yeah,
sidecars,
you're
they'll
a bit
move
early
on.
for all the solo rush, but you're at the tail end of the sidecar.
Yeah.
rush.
So you're
That makes
sort
sense.
of the lonesome bike when you're out there
Yeah.
near the end like that.
Yeah.
Whereas you
I might
guys
have to
probably
try
wouldn't
that.
have. Yeah, like you guys probably wouldn't have ever experienced that because you guys are always up the front.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So it's a different. It's sort of
Yeah.
like a different race, even though
Yeah.
you're in the same race. It's crazy how it can be like changed like
Yeah.
that, even though you're in the same sort of race.
Yeah.
And I even noticed that being doing the reliability trials when I was one of the first bikes. Like you have a different crowd there.
Yeah.
And that was on the solo.
Yeah.
Like it's completely like and because
Different
everyone's
dynamics,
and because everyone's spread out over the so many hours of everyone, like there's a different group moving all around at the different times.
Well,
It's
we
pretty
get
cool.
quite often surprised because you come to places and you think, oh, yeah, we'll be in front of the crowd or whatnot, and sometimes you rock up to some of these sections and you go, wow, where the hell did all these people come from? Or you might be riding down the road approaching and it's just cars lined up down the road everywhere and you go,
you can't even see where to
wow.
turn in because you're like, where the hell's the bloody
wow,
markers?
this is a bit bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So, and that happened a lot last year, especially in the 100th. But we're still very surprised at how strong the crowd was this year.
Yeah.
And overall, well behaved.
I didn't see anything
No,
too crazy.
no.
Like people were, drinking and partying and that, but everyone was respectful
it was,
and
overall
stuff.
it was very well behaved from the reports back. So which is
that
good.
seems good. Stacks, did you guys have any?
No, we had one where we just dropped into like sort of stalling, sort of just a bit of a misguided slide into a little narrow creek bed and stalled it. Sort of a bit of a jolt, but didn't. Yeah, no actual come offs at all. So no, pretty happy with that outcome.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
There's a few going up Wells Creek on the first lap, and the sidecar wheel clipped. Got 3 rocks in a row, and we got some big knocks out of that. But Stiff saved the day each time, and kept the power on, which helps you pull through it. So they had the potential to be nasty, but we caught them.
We did see a few ambulances. Who stacked it? Was it Jason Rayner?
Jason Rayner, he stacked it at the start of Wells.
Yeah.
By the Wells control there, just down in the first little narrow gutter that you
Were
follow
they all
down.
right?
He's done a collarbone.
Okay.
Yep. So he was getting that plated last weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So I went out there
Because I saw his bike up for sale and I was like, he's cracked it.
I went out there to stir him up the last weekend, and I drew a big stick figure of a twisted man in the dust and wrote "Jason was here." And sent a picture through him. So, but no, overall we had a very clean run in all aspects of it, really.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that long section? Do we use getting stuck in there?
Fast? No, we got through it okay. Once again, a few of the guys behind us were.
Yeah.
But once again, I think that folding foot peg saved us a few times. Definitely. Even the section before that, there was a big off-cambered dry creek bank that you went out of, and you got sucked into a big rut in that. And we managed to get through that, whereas like the Hutchies got hung up on it, and they had to go back down the bank, turn around and have a second try, so they lost a heap of time in there. Whereas we got through it. We got close to getting stuck, but Stiff would always manage to twist the bike a bit to get us a bit of traction back. And I think with that foot peg not hanging up on the right-hand side was I think our winner quite a few times.
But like having that foot peg like that, would you take more damage to say your bike if you're hitting something, if you do end up
No,
hitting something
I
big?
find that you actually brush past it more. I actually find that I was worried about that in the early days, and most people are. But since riding with it, like getting used to it over in Wales and how much you bash things over there, stumps and stuff like that, I've gone, what am I worried about?
Yeah.
And I've found it's actually, the other one is foot protection. People get worried about foot protection. But I actually find that when you hit something, it actually kicks you, like throws your leg back off, just like you would a solo.
Yeah.
If you clipped the edge of a stump or something, it just, your knee hinges, that's what it's made for. It throws back and your foot peg folds in and happy days.
Yeah.
So I've never really found it to be a threat in that regards. I mean, I broke my right ankle on riding Flobbs's bike a few years ago with a solid foot peg against a stump.
Okay.
So, and that was with a motocross rigid foot peg. So at the end of the day, I feel probably safer and more comfortable, maybe not safe, but more comfortable riding with the folding peg.
So that's just a regular peg like on a solo?
Yeah, it's got a slight Nerf bar there.
Yeah.
So it's still got clutch cover protection, water pump protection, things like that. It still gives you immediate protection, but it doesn't stick out your full width of your foot.
Yeah, because I noticed even when I did that Gawler road trail, the foot peg does get jammed when you're in those tight creeks and
Correct,
stuff too.
that's right. So you come down
And
in
it
those,
can hook-
and that's
yeah,
a classic.
hooks on stuff.
You come down in those tight little
Yeah, and you're
V-bottom
sort of like
creeks,
this.
and you're chair high.
Yeah.
And it slides and it wedges your foot peg into the other side and it throws you into the bars every time. You don't get that. You don't get near that with a folding peg. You quite often save the day out of that. So, and you learn to let your leg become a bit more freer because of it as well.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit of a mindset thing. So yeah, I think that was a big winner for us.
Would there be anything that you would have done different this 24? Like
I ride faster.
ride faster? Like we were in those sections nearly twice as long as you guys.
Yeah, well then we've got to narrow that down and make it.
Like we were in, because some of the guys are like, oh, I don't know how you did it. Like, you know, it would have been so hard work, you know, being in the sections that long.
But
like,
think about it. The quicker you get through it, the quicker you can have a rest down the next transport stage.
Because I was thinking, because everyone always says the faster you go, the easier it is.
It does, it gets smoother.
And I'd never really understood that because I'd only, I'd been like doing it with Caroline, but then going back onto Jason's bike, and like nothing against Jason or anything, but he rides a bit slower.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it definitely is harder to go slower than what it is to go faster. I guess there's that next level faster, and then that's probably way harder, like, GP people and that. But because you do notice that you are hanging in the corners a lot longer. You're not getting that flick from the bike to flick you up. Yeah. And like heaps of people have come up to me and said,
the physics of a slide helps that bike pull down.
And like heaps of people have said to me, you're bloody mad. Like the expert guys are like, I don't know how you did that. Like going like, you were in there for like double the time that we were in there. Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like, it was hard.
Yeah. So, but no, it's certainly become a fast event now.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was more about that reliability. You had tubes, you had halogen globes, you had homemade sidecars, and so there was a lot of potential for things to go wrong. Whereas nowadays, we've got great suspension, we've got good frames, we've got moose tubes, we've got awesome lighting. We can see what we're doing, and the lighting's reliable. You don't have to carry all these spare tubes and globes and stuff like you used to. So it is now very much a race from the word go. Whereas years ago, it was about trying to find the bravest pace at a consistent level
without breaking
things, right? Whereas that's almost thrown out the door now, and it's a case of you go hard. If you want a chance of winning, you've just got to go hard and cross your fingers that nothing's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what it is, and make sure that prep's in the shed.
I couldn't have even imagined riding those olden day sidecars around there. Like,
it was great.
Were the tracks the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Brown Loader Wells has never changed. That's the same old creek that we used to ride on an XR 630 Rockhopper.
Yeah.
Home built sidecar, an XT 250.
Were there as many sections if you were riding slower though? No.
12 sections per lap over 4 laps. Yep.
Wow. Yep. So you would have, were the late times more, or because like surely people wouldn't have been able to get through all of those sections?
We've probably lengthened some of the sections. We've probably got some longer. There's more competitive. There's no doubt. There's more competitive distance in there than what there used to be. So we aim for about a third of the track being competitive.
Yeah.
So if it's 200 kilometres or like 180, let's say this year, about 65 of that was competitive, I think, from memory, or 68, something like that. And then the rest is transport, so your open roads. Right, so you got a 2/3, 1/3 split, whereas years ago you're struggling for it to be quarter, 3/4.
Okay.
Right, so it's definitely more competitive in there nowadays than what there used to be. So longer competitive sections, as we've sort of gathered more landowners together and stuff like that. So, but that's sort of in economy of scale to what the bikes are capable of though too. So,
so how did you guys feel like finishing this one off after last year?
Oh, it was great to actually finish again. Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't got the greatest track record for finishes, just because of our mindset with what we do. Go hard or go home. So that's my 18th start. I've done 15 with Stiff, 3 with other people, 3 other passengers. And yeah, out of that, we've had 4 wins, 3 seconds, a third and a fourth.
Yeah.
So we've had a good finishing, like, results when we do finish, and that's just that whole mindset of go hard or go home.
Yeah.
So I just don't comprehend going to compete when you can't compete. Like, if something says I can't compete, well then it's just, that's taking the fun out of the game.
Do you plan on doing it for a long time?
I haven't got an answer on that one yet.
No.
Look, the body's certainly starting to hurt more and more. I think the physicality of it will catch up with me, whether it be sight or my back or something like that. I think the chassis will dictate. My personal chassis will dictate long before the motorbike chassis will. So yeah.
And speaking of the finishes, like, I thought it was really awesome how everybody, like even the experts, like waited around for all the sidecars to come in, and everyone went around and congratulated each other. And like, it was so cool. We were the last sidecar to come through, and like, you know, we're nothing in comparison to what the experts are doing. And you know, Bradley Hunter came over and, you know, shook our hands and congratulated us and was like, oh, you know, that was really awesome, well done. And he won. And he's like, was super like friendly and encouraging, and like no one's looking down on others like, oh, you peasants, you know, you're not in our league, sort of thing. Like, it was awesome.
Camaraderie, isn't it? Yeah. Like, we're a minority in the scheme of motorsport racing, so it's in our best interest to look after each other, isn't it? Yeah. And keep friendly. So it's one of those things that I think just is renowned for sidecar land, as we've spoken about so many times, and just about everyone on every podcast across the globe has said. It's that camaraderie of sidecars. And even throughout the event, like, there was people in there, like, I sort of know most people's names and stuff, but I haven't really talked to everyone. So people that I hadn't really talked to before coming over, oh, how you going, you know, and like when we were waiting for that section that got taken out, we were like full chatting to everyone, and everyone's just mingling, and it's great. It was really good. Yeah, whereas my family, like the kids, were following someone on a solo, and they said at that same point they had like quite a wait for people as well. And the solos, there might be 1 or 2 people talking to each other, but it's almost deathly silence. Oh, really? Yeah. Wow. So it's so boring in comparison to the sidecars. Yeah. So sidecars is just one big massive chat fest and shit stir. Yeah. So it's great. Yeah. I was lucky when I was on solo. I was with the like near the Masters guys, and they're always good. Yeah. Like, I love being next to them. They're still old school. Yeah. They always looked after me. They like, you know, chatted to me, like waited up for me, like, and if I was a bit late, like my mum would be waiting at the other side, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's coming. She's just in some dust or whatever." You know, they were heaps good. Yeah, they've grown up old school. And just. That's just a turn in society in a lot of ways as well. And just no egos, just there to bloody have a good time and ride around and, you know, look out for each other. And it's a lot of that society thing in general, isn't it? Yeah. Where it's a lot of the me world nowadays. But sidecars, it's a small minority of people, so it's in our best interest to keep friendly with each other and do the right things. The experts encouraging, you know, the newer people and that to do it. It makes them feel good about being there. Like, there's never once that I've been anywhere to do with sidecars where I've felt like I don't belong. Yeah, like, that's right. Ever. Exactly, yeah.
coming from doing motocross on the solo, when I first started doing motocross on the solo, I felt it was so clicky.
Yeah.
And I felt like, you know, people were looking at me like, oh, what's she doing here? You know, she's like an old fat mum sort of thing. That's what I felt like. But I've never felt like that in sidecars, like ever. Even just not having that experience. Like no one's ever, what's she doing here sort of thing. Everyone's like, oh, that's so awesome. You should give it a go. And that's like, how you going? Do you need help with this? And like, I've learnt so much just from, you know, being at events and people going, if you just do that, you might be able to do this. And it's been really helpful, super helpful.
Yeah. And we're trying to do more of that too. So outside of the competition. So we've got a few young ones that have come and approached us since the 24 that want to try and get on as a passenger gig, which is sensational. So we're trying to organise some ride time with them, just casual ride time to go take them out and give them a bit of a squirt around and see what they think of it and all the rest. Give them the time of day to try and experience it, because it is obviously a more expensive facet of the sport to get into, to then realise you don't like it or you're no good or whatever it might be. So we're trying that opportunity and give people a chance to ride a bike and stuff like that. So we're got a few things in the pipe work there that are coming on.
Need more of that sort of stuff.
And with the season finishing earlier this year, it gives us probably a bit more chance to get out before the weather turns hot and dusty and terrible over the summertime. So
because I think it only takes, sometimes it only takes that one or two goes and that bit of encouragement from people who are already doing it to really G people
and
up.
I was
to
lucky enough to have
go.
that experience as a kid through the 24-hour trial, and the guys that would come out to mark out, they go, jump on the sidecar and we'll take you for a ride and stuff like that. And that's what really got me then locked into it, after watching it and going, it looked cool, and then those guys inviting me to go for a ride around the paddock and give it a try, and you just went, right, this is gold. So
and we definitely need that. And I think maybe people sort of, once they get involved and they're doing it, they sort of forget a little bit about that. Like they sort of get doing what they're doing and they forget that they need to be giving back like that. Because otherwise,
and I think we've all been guilty of that.
You just sort of, you're doing your thing and you sort of forget.
In the zone.
And like, once you've got that experience and you're doing all these things, you forget what it's like to be a beginner.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
So anyway, anyone that out there that wants to give the 24 a try, it's certainly worth the effort. Get in touch with Tash or someone, and everyone's happy to help out and give you guidance and direct you in the right directions to make a start. And hopefully we can keep the dream alive.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that sucks you in.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those, because I was like, I'll just do it one time.
Yeah.
And and then I've done it the first time. I was like, no, I got to do it again. And then straight away, even though I finished it, because my aim was I've just got to at least finish it. I'm like, I'm doing it again. I don't know why, it just sucks you in. And I was like, maybe if I can get good at riding, maybe I could do it. I'll finish on a solo, I'll finish as a passenger, and I'll finish as a rider.
And not a lot have done that.
And I'm like, I reckon I could do that. If I set that as a goal, I reckon I could do it.
Yeah, not a lot have, so you'd be in quite an
And I'd probably be the only girl that would ever have done it. Or Caroline might have.
Caroline, I reckon, possibly,
Yeah.
Because she used to ride back in the day. So.
Yeah, and she's so under the radar. She's done so much stuff, absolutely. And she acts like she isn't anything, and she's a bloody gun.
No, absolutely.
I came across some old article about her from some 24 thing that someone had posted up, and it was
mid-80s, late 80s,
saying that she was one of the first women, the first woman to win something in the 24. I can't remember what it was.
It would have been the trail class. Or
it was something, and I'm like. She keeps all that quiet.
No, all good.
Not cool. All right, awesome. Well, we'll call it a
end
day.
Of Tash and Crash's
the Tash and Crash
adventure. That's right, exactly. Clown show. Good stuff.
No, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that episode, something a little bit different. Hopefully one day everyone can get out and experience the 24-hour. You got to see it to believe it, and it'd be really cool to get some more people involved and out there doing it. And thanks so much to Crash for coming and chatting again, and telling us about his adventure in 2025. So, yeah, thanks, guys, and thanks everyone for their support, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.